Do you have a dream vacation location? Well, I'll tell you, I have 10 places that I want to visit on an upcoming trip, and I'm going to talk about each one of those right now. All right, everybody, here we go again. My name is John. This is TPF Travel, Trips, Places, and Fun, where we talk about how to have family adventures, both close to home and when traveling. Today, I'm going to talk about places that I really want to visit. I would love to get some comments below. Let me know if you've been to some of these places. What did you think about them? Do you recommend them? In these particular locations, what should I do? What are the different attractions? Maybe you stayed at a particular hotel, or what kind of a place would you recommend? A hostel or an Airbnb or a hotel? And so I'd love to hear all about that. What experiences did you have? And then definitely add to this list, if there's a place that you have visited, whether it's here in the US of A or somewhere overseas, an island, some other nation, let me know, because we're ready. We're ready to hit the road, and we're ready to travel. We're ready to have fun. But I'm going to talk about 10 places that I want to go specifically. And I'll tell you, Amy very well may not want to go to some of these places. She's not here right now, so I'm just going to talk about these particular trips that I am so ready to take. All right, number one. This is one that I am pretty confident that Amy does not want to join me on. I really hope she does, and I really hope that we can do this sometime. Number one, I want to take an Amtrak cross-country train ride. I want to go from Chicago to San Francisco. I've been wanting to do this for a long, long time. I would love to get, one of the sleeper cars and have my own place to sleep there at night, and own shower and place to kind of settle in, and then just enjoy the ride. And there's just something I think about a train ride that's just kind of cool. It's just different. Everywhere we go, we're either flying or driving, just like most people. But what would it be like to hit the rails on a train? I know a lot of it is going to be boring and flat countryside and tiny little towns and nothing all that exciting. But I also know that you're going to cruise on through the Rocky Mountains, and there's going to be places that you never would see, by car. And in fact, there was a time when Amy and we were in Colorado. We were in a city that was west of Denver. I can't remember the name of it. There were hot springs there. Some of you are going to know exactly what it is when I'm talking about it. Glenwood Springs. And we were there, and we took a bike ride down this bike trail alongside a beautiful river up along the mountainside. And there was a train track just cutting along, the mountainside. And I saw this train just hugging the mountain right over the top of the river. And I just remember thinking, it's like, oh my gosh, I've got to take one of these train rides. And so I've always wanted to do that. Have you ever traveled by train on Amtrak in any direction, specifically talking about the longer journeys that really are a vacation in itself almost? So if you have, leave me some comments below. I want to hear from you. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Was it worth it? I know that it can actually be quite expensive. If you've got a sleeper car, I know it could be maybe $1,000 or more, but is it worth it? Let me know. All right, number two. I have always wanted to go to Japan. And specifically, I want to go to Disney in Japan. There's something about just this idea of going to Disneyland in a different culture. I've heard of people that have gone to Disney there, and it's supposed to be just absolutely phenomenal. It's supposed to be even more magical than what we find here at Disney World or Disneyland in Anaheim. So man, I've got to get to Japan, and I want to experience a different culture. Now, I flew through Japan on my way to Thailand, and the only thing that I experienced there was a mean-looking security guard or police officer with a machine gun, or a soldier or whatever he was, as I was trying to find my way through the Tokyo airport. And I thought I was supposed to cut around the corner, and that was not the way to go, because that guy with the gun stopped me and pointed me in another direction. That's the extent of my experience with Japan. And I know that there are better experiences to be had. So, man, have you been to Japan? What is it like? I want to eat the food and experience the culture. And it's just a completely different culture. Now, Amy is not so excited about going to Japan. It would not be her first choice. It would be one of my first choices. And just jumping on the airplane and taking that long, I don't know how long it is. I can't remember. It was hours and hours, 12 or 13, 14 hours, 12 hours, I think, plane ride across the ocean. I would love to do that again. All right, number 3, the third place that I would love to visit. And I could actually tie this in with an Amtrak trip, and this is San Francisco. Now, I have visited San Francisco one time. It was awe-inspiring. And I was in Modesto for a conference, and I was flying out, actually, of San Francisco. So I drove to San Francisco for the day. I went to a restaurant right there overlooking Alcatraz, and I had me some chowder there, just me by myself. And I walked around a little bit, and it was really amazing. And I want to go to Alcatraz. I want to experience some of the culture there of San Francisco and the different things to do. I was just there for a few hours. I now want to definitely go back and see what San Francisco is all about, all right? Number 4. Now, number 4 is a place that Amy and I have been, but only one time, and it was a long time ago. We went to Washington, D.C., and we had the time of our lives going to all the museums, the Smithsonian and Air and Space and the government buildings. But there was a lot that we didn't do. We didn't do any tours. We didn't do any of that. But doing what we did, we had so much fun, and we knew that there was so much more to do. We went to Arlington National Cemetery and the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. Boy, it's a very, very amazing place. And I don't know if they do tours of the White House anymore. I would love to do that, and I'd love to go into the Capitol and some of these different places. Tell me about Washington, D.C. I know some of you, I'm sure many of you have been there. What do you think about that? I think it would be an amazing trip to take again. All right, number 5, we have talked about this recently, but this is something now, Washington, D.C., Amy and I both want to go. And number 5, we both want to go a Disney cruise. And so, in fact, you can, right up here, there is a video where we are asking for help to decide what cruise to take. We talked about the different cruise lines and Carnival and Royal Caribbean and Celebrity and Viking and Princess but we just going back to it, we can't get away from wanting the magic of a Disney cruise. This is something that both of us want to do really bad. We're excited about it. In fact, we're going to try to take a Disney cruise sometime this year. We're really excited about this. So let us know. Have you been on a Disney cruise? What was it like? Give us all of your cruise tips. We would love to hear them. All right, number 6. What do we got here? Oh, Europe. Now, this is where Amy wants to go, and I do too. Europe and Paris and Disney Paris. London, maybe. Would we get up into Ireland? I don't know. What does that look like? Amy's wanted to go to Ireland. Amy's really wanted to go to Paris and just have an amazing European vacation. I've never been. Amy, when she was very, very little, she lived in Germany. It'd be cool to visit Germany too, I guess. What would you recommend? And I'd love to hear about that. That's kind of one of the big trips that Amy and I would love to do. We've been talking about it for years. All right, number 7, Honolulu. Now, we went to Maui not too long ago. It's the first time that I've ever been to Hawaii. And we had a great time in Maui. We had really fun snorkeling. It's the first time I have ever been snorkeling. It was phenomenal. Man, I was hooked. So we had a great time there, but we'll admit that we ended up getting bored after several days, after maybe 5 or 6 days. And we ended up looking for a mall or looking for entertainment or looking for something to do. We did the snorkeling, we did the cool, beach towns. We did all of that. Went through national parks and had a blast. But, Amy and I, we just laugh. Our first day in Maui, because of the time change, we ended up waking up really early. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning or something, or 6. And we never get up early. And we went down, we were in the hotel, and we went down by the pool, and they were serving breakfast. So we had a little breakfast. And then we sat out on the beach, by the ocean, and there was rainbows, and it was remarkable. And we're sitting there, and we sat there for about, at the most, 30 minutes. And then we just kind of looked at each other and were like, now what? Now what do we do? And we were bored. We were done. There's only so much looking that we can do, and in fact, kind of going back to talking about cruises, one of the reasons we want to take a Disney cruise is, Amy says, she's looking at a lot of these other cruises and of course there's a lot to do, but a lot of it's centered around the pool. And she said, I just am not going to get in to just sunbathing for hours on end or just sitting and looking at the ocean, and, for hours on end. And it's, the same was true for us in Maui. Boy, we got bored. Now the snorkeling was off the charts. I could do that forever. That was amazing. But, just kind of sitting there and looking, as stunning as the views are, we got bored really quick. So Honolulu, from what I understand, has a lot more to do. Maui didn't have a lot of, I know I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, they didn't have a lot of good restaurants. They had some great restaurants. They had a few that, man, oh man, they were good. But I'm thinking about restaurants that are a little more mainstream American, or, Maui had a lot of your traditional Hawaiian foods. And after about 5 or 6 days of that, we were looking for something different. And so Honolulu, from what I understand, it's more of an American city feel. And I know some of you are going to think that that's just pathetic, but that's what we would love. We would love to be on an island, to be in a city, to experience, just all of the fun stuff that we like to do, and all the shopping and the beach and everything. And so Honolulu, we want to go to Honolulu. All right, number eight. I want to go to Rome. I don't know if that's somewhere Amy would want to go. I think so. I bet she would. Now, my dad, so here's some trivia for you. I've shared this trivia before. My dad was a Catholic priest, and my mom was a Catholic nun, and they met in confession, and they fell in love, and they left the ministry and got married and had me and my brother. And so that's a fun little story. But my dad actually went to seminary in Rome, and he did all of his work in Latin. And I've always wanted to go to Rome and just kind of, what in the world was it like for my dad being there, and not only just that part of it and that personal family history part of it, but Rome is supposed to be remarkable and just beautiful and amazing, fun culture. And so I would love definitely to go to Rome. All right, number 9, a place like Tahiti or some paradise island, somewhere. And I know. I just talked about Maui and how we got bored. I get that. I know. But I don't know. There might be just something about just jetting across the water, going to a place, like Tahiti or something like that, and maybe staying in one of those, what are they, like those huts that are actually over the top of the water. Man, I don't know. I think some of you have probably seen pictures of that. That would be a blast for me. Just maybe spending a week there and convincing myself that I don't have to do all of this crazy entertainment stuff. I can just relax and I can unwind and I can swim and I can snorkel. And I've never been to a paradise island kind of place. And so I'm thinking Tahiti would be a cool place to go. All right, number 10, I think it'd be cool to go to Hong Kong. Again, Disney's there, and I would enjoy that most certainly. Hong Kong is, again, it's a completely different culture, and I'm just ready. I'm ready to get out of America just for a minute. I love America. Here's my flag. Oh, wrong shoulder. There's my flag. And love America, and I love vacationing here. We have a great time with our road trips and a great time with all the different destinations in Orlando and San Diego and, Chicago and the places that we've been. And we love traveling here. But it would be really cool just to completely exit this American culture and try something else. When I went to Thailand, it was culture shock, so radically different than anything I have ever experienced. I was there 10 days, and I would love to do something like that with my wife, and where she and I can just head out. And I was alone. I was on a ministry trip, but I would love to do something like that with my wife, and I think Hong Kong would be pretty cool. All right, that's what I got. Those are my top 10 trips that I want to take. I really want to hear about trips that you've taken to any of these places that I've mentioned or anywhere else in the entire world. Man, come back at me and say, hey, John, you have got to go to this place. And tell me why. Tell me what your experience was like there, because I'm ever researching and ever learning. And it's going to take a long time before I visit all of these places. But I'm going to knock them out one at a time, I hope. And if there's anywhere else out there that's cool, definitely let me know. All right. That is all I have for today. Please give thumbs up and definitely subscribe. Subscribing really helps us build this channel. It means a lot to us. And then ding the bell. And if you do that, you'll be notified every time we upload a video. We're trying to do this multiple times a week. So far, so good. And we're having a great time doing it. So thanks for being a part of the TPF family. We'd love to get to know you. I'm going to respond to your comments. If you comment, I'll definitely do that. And I really want to make that connection. All right. That's it, everybody. I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye.